Before he dropped out of the race, President Biden had amassed a war chest of $240 million approximately. Now, that money doesn't just disappear now that he's no longer the candidate. And the Trump campaign has argued that the money can't just go to the likely Democratic nominee, Vice President Harris. So as we dive into that, we thought we would answer the question, what are the rules about where that money can go? So let's start off just by talking about what's at stake. The Biden campaign, the Democratic National Committee, and the joint fundraising committees have accumulated a joint war chest of about $240 million. And of that, the majority of the money, about $145 million, is with the DNC and the joint fundraising committee. Now, those groups, they can spend their money however they'd like in support of the Democratic ticket. But the Biden-Harris campaign had $96 million as of the end of June. And because Harris was on the ticket with Biden, some campaign finance experts have argued that Harris has immediate access to these funds because she was listed in the FEC filings alongside Biden when his campaign was organized. And for their part, the Biden campaign, trying to make that change official, filed with the Federal Election Commission, the FEC, to try and change the group's name to Harris for President. And while Harris is now the likely nominee, she doesn't have the official nomination yet. That's supposed to come in August. And the Trump complaint argues that the Biden campaign simply changing the name on the FEC filings from Biden to Harris does not legally allow her to access those $96 million in funds. And some campaign finance lawyers argue that under FEC law, she wouldn't have had access to that money until both she and Biden were made the official nominees by the DNC. So if Harris does not become the nominee, or if the Trump campaign wins their argument, well, that would make things more complicated from a financial perspective. The FEC only allows a candidate to donate $2,000 to another candidate in an election. And in that case, Biden would have to transfer all of the additional money to the Democratic National Committee. They could then spend that as they see fit. Now, the other option would be to refund to all the donors to the Biden campaign's main fund and send messages requesting that they donate to the new candidate's fund. But that's unlikely to happen. And in the 24 hours after Biden dropped out of the race, we should mention that $81 million has been pledged to the Democratic Party.